Okay, I want to do a quick wrap up of global prehistory because I kind of did it in a bad way. I jumped around because I wasn't thinking and I did not get to address it the way I wanted to. It was disorganized, so I apologize for that. So, I want to talk about the two main eras, right, that we're looking at, and then we have a couple of other things that don't fall officially within these dates, but I'll talk about why that is in just a moment. So, we talk about the Paleolithic era. Old Stone Age. That's where we get the camelid sacrament of the shape of the canine. That's where we get the Great Hall of the Bulls. That's where we get the Apollo 11 stones, right? So we are in a state where human beings are just, it's harder to survive. So they're working for survival. They're hunting, gathering. They don't have permanent housing. It's mostly cave dwelling. We certainly don't have written records. And so with the cave dwelling, deep inside the caves, we have the drawings, the cave paintings, which are, as you saw in the video, quite sophisticated. So those are animals, but also often of abstract geometric forms, as well as handprints, and mostly animals, very few people. If they are people, they tend to be not like people, but more like fertility symbols. And this is not one of our works, but it really should be. It's the Venus of Willendorf. So because we don't have any clear fertility symbols in our, well, the Tilitilco figurine has those wide hips that might be suggestive of fertility, but wanted a fertility symbol from the Old Stone Age. I wanted to show her to you as well. So lots of using of materials that they have available to them, obviously, and natural materials. Okay, Paleolithic, Old Stone Age. Lith means stone, right? And we're going to come across that root in other forms. Monolithic, right? One large stone, monolithic, as well as a lithograph, which is a kind of print, the image of which originates partially from a stone. It's very cool. We'll get to that much later. Then we have the Neolithic era, the new Stone Age, Neo, right? So we are becoming more sophisticated. We're not just hunting, gathering. We begin to farm, work the earth, become masters of the earth and not just kind of scroungers for food, right? Animals become domesticated. So obviously we need more permanent situations for that. We have a beginning of more social stratification, social classes. Different people are good for different things, right? And then we also get more emphasis on human figures, as well as, with respect to the human figures, emphasis on the face. Now, this is very abstract looking. This is one that you'll have to do for your homework tonight, but that's a good example of the emphasis on the face, even though it is abstracted. So the beaker with ibex motif, obviously ceramics. I believe was done. Oh, I can't remember if it was done with wheel or without the wheel. I think it was done without the wheel. Regardless, we don't make ceramics in a culture that is totally nomadic. That makes no sense, right? Because ceramics break really easily. The skill that it takes to work jade is beyond your comprehension. The only thing that can wear it away is to work at it with sand and water. And so you have to consider the kind of skill that it took to make something like this. It's mind blowing. So we have the Neolithic era basically ends with the rise of civilizations, right? Well, what's civilization? Well, it's a larger, more organized group of people, where in which usually when we talk about civilization, we talk about maybe a desire for expansion or dominion over areas, and it's not simply the strongest person wins. I mean, that obviously plays a part in it, but as we become more civilized, it's not so much a matter of whoever's got the strongest muscles gets to rule the roost, right? Or I just fixed my metaphor there, but it's okay. So We have White Temple of Ziggurat, which is our first historical piece. So if you look at the date on that, that's 3,500, 300 BCE. Of course, this comes from the ancient Mesopotamia, right? And then if we've got this piece, which is also prehistoric, he's so cute, little ambum stone. But we call it prehistoric, but we're saying 1500 BCE, but this is historic and it's 3500 BCE, which comes before 1500 BCE. How could that be? Well, look at the area of the world. This is in New Guinea, totally different spot. Different areas of the world develop at different rates, right? They become historical. Remember, historical means there's writing contemporaneous writing about that culture, sometimes by the culture, sometimes not. It becomes historical at different times, right? Why is that? Well, one of the big reasons is climate. New Guinea is pretty nice climate-wise. There's not as much of a struggle to survive. It's a lot more. It's a lot richer in natural abundance than now. Yes, the climate has changed, but in the Mesopotamia, they had to work for it, right? And the more you have to work and with your environment, generally, the more civilized you become, right? Or historical, maybe we should say, right? So this work here is about the same time as this work, right? Totally different areas of the world. And then we have the Tiltilco female figurine. So yeah, there might be suggestions of fertility with those hips for sure. Somewhere around 1200 to 900 BCE. And this falls somewhere in the, a bit after that. So we have the Lama Sioux. Okay. So this is around 1000 BCE. Again, also from the Pacific Islands area. And so this is, this is about 200 years prior to this. But so we just want to understand that, it's not the timeline isn't like, okay, so now man has invented the wheel. Everybody is now using the wheel. That's not the way this works. Right. So we just want to keep that in mind. Remember, Paleolithic, Neolithic, but then we have some pieces that don't fit that those neat molds, which tend to be focused more on Europe and Africa and the ancient Mediterranean, Mesopotamian area. Okay, thank you.